So what I want to do this time around is to create some types to hold the kind of data we're going to be serving. And as you know, we're serving some movies, so let's create some types to hold a movie. And then we can actually establish a single route to serve one movie as JSON and another route to serve a collection of movies. So we'll do that. I'm going to do this in a new package. I'm going to set my types up by creating a new folder here, which I'll call models, because these will eventually become database models. And I'll create a new file in the models folder called models.go. Great, and I'll give it its package declaration, models. And I'm going to set up 3 types. So the first one will be a type movie, and it's just a struct. Then we'll set up another one called type genre, which is also a struct. And finally, I'll set up one for type, I'll call it movie genre, which is also a struct. And let's put some fields in there. So we might change these later on, but right now let's just get something so we can serve some content. And I'll call this ID, and it will be an int, and I'll give it its JSON description of ID. And then I'll create the title for the movie, which will be a string, and it will be JSON title, like that. And then I'll give it its description, which will also be a string, JSON description, and then I'll give it the year it was released, which will be an int, and in JSON, I'll call that year. Then the actual release date, just to be specific, release date. Even though I can get the year from the release date, I like to have things so I can search very quickly on one int column. Release date will be time.time, and I better let the import happen, time.time. There, that put the import for me. JSON release date. And I'll also give it, say, the runtime, which will be an int, and that will be JSON runtime. And then I'll give it rating, in case I want to use star rating at some point, which I'll make an int, and JSON rating. So that might be 1 star, 5 stars, whatever it's going to be. The MPAA rating, which is important for a lot of people, which will just be a string in our case, and I'll call it JSON MPAA rating, the Motion Picture Association of America, I think it stands for. And then I'll give it created at, which will be time.time, JSON created at, and updated at. Okay, and finally, one movie can have multiple genres, so I'll put in movie genre, which will be a slice of movie genre. And in JSON right now, I'm going to just say ignore that, because I don't want to deal with that at the moment. I want to get one thing working first, and I have a typo here. There. Okay, so for genre, I'll just have a list of genres, just a lookup table. ID int JSON ID. It's definitely going to have a created at and updated at, so I'll copy those and paste that right here. And then I know I'm going to have the same columns in movie genre, so I'll copy that and paste it in here to save some typing. All right, what else do I want in genre? Just the genre name, which will be a string, and in JSON it will be genre name. And down here, that's all I need for genre. I'll have the movie ID, which is an int, and JSON movie ID. And then I'll duplicate that and make that genre ID. And here I'll call it genre ID. And then finally, just because I'm probably going to use it, I'll actually put the genre in there as well. Type is genre, and in JSON, I'll just call it genre, like that. Okay, let's format this. Don't see any errors. That looks good. So there is our models, and I can import that wherever I need it and use it. And I stick it in its own package just because it's clean, and I like to do it that way. If you wanted to put these in the main package, you feel free to do so, but I'm going to leave them in their own package. So we have that defined. In the next step, will be to actually set up a route that allows us to serve one movie. And we'll just hard code the data right now. We'll be looking it up from the database before too long. But I want to set up a new route that grabs one movie or serves one movie as JSON. And we'll get started on that in the next lecture.